All right, it is 1 degree Fahrenheit outside, according to my car. I am now going to head to Marshall, Minnesota for work. I'm going to make a quick stop in St. Louis Park at the Micro Center. I need an SSD for my video editing rig, coincidentally. And then I'll be on my way. It's about 150 miles. There is a fast charger in Redwood Falls, which is about 110 miles from here. So push comes to shove, I can fast charge there on my way to my hotel. I'm staying at a hotel with a level 2 charger at the Sleep Inn and Suites in Marshall. So no matter what I roll in with, hopefully we'll be able to charge. If not, there is a fast charger in Marshall as well. Looks like there are 2 now. I'll definitely try to check out the new one that was recently built at the GM dealer. So that is the plan. 5:41 p.m. and it's 1 degree outside. Let's see how this trip goes. Well, I traveled 24 miles from work to this Chipotle. I used 10 kilowatt hours to get here, so we're looking at about 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour. At that rate, I still should be able to make it to Marshall, but I'll be driving through Redwood Falls. That's only 92 miles from here. Worst case, I'll fast charge in Redwood Falls, give me enough to get to Marshall, where my hotel's at. Gasometer shows a minimum of 95 miles, so with the heat on, driving the speed limit, I should be able to make it there no problem. Alright, mid-trip update. I am about 64 miles from where I left, and I'm about 50-some from Redwood Falls. I've decided I'm going to stop in Redwood Falls. Not gonna make it all the way to Marshall without a quick top-up. I'm alternating between the heat at 61 degrees and low. Low doesn't seem like it puts out much of anything. It's certainly tough when it's 6 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit, but it's going. So I made it to Redwood Falls, Minnesota. I am 38 miles away from my hotel, and I rolled in with just under 25% battery. I'm here at a Zeph-operated fast charger. As expected, I had some issues initializing the charging session. In their defense, I think partially due to snow buildup in the plug itself. I received a message on the car saying I'm able to start charging because the plug wasn't inserted fully. I also tried starting a session on my phone, and then the equipment here said to press the start button. So eventually I ended up getting it working. So I am here charging up a little bit, getting my range 10 or 20 miles on the battery so I can make it to Marshall comfortably. But 38 miles to go, and I believe this session is going to be free, which is really nice. I was expecting a $5 connection charge along with price per kilowatt hour as usual. Nice, well-lit area. There are 4 standard level 2 J1772 plugs. You can see off in the distance there's a Walmart, and then there's a Tritium fast charger with a Chatamo plug for the Nissan Leafs, and a CCS plug for everyone else. This place came in clutch. Wouldn't have made it to Marshall if it wasn't. Probably was going to stay at a casino hotel that was in the area that had a overnight level 2 charger. So glad this worked out. Thanks, Zeph. Alright, I made it here to my hotel in Marshall, Minnesota. I'm at the Sleep Inn and Suites, which conveniently has a Clipper Creek J1772 charger and 3 Tesla destination chargers. Fortunately, it's far enough away that risk of it getting blocked by other people is low, and according to my app, it looks like my car will be done charging about 9:15 a.m. tomorrow, which isn't quite ideal. I'm hoping to hit the road a little sooner, but I guess that's what happens when you roll in at 10:45 at night. You don't get to take advantage of the full night's charge. In total, I spent 45 minutes at the charger in Redwood Falls. Again, with the air temps the way they are at 5 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit, I was only able to put about 22 kilowatts into the battery for that session. So again, a little bit of a setback from a time perspective, but so far all the chargers have been working, which has been great. And it's been a relatively smooth trip so far. So talk to you later. See you in the morning. It is 6:45 in the morning, 4 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. I got up to 86% this morning on the battery, which is a little better than I expected. Headed to the wind farm, do some things at work. Here's to another day, another snowy day in Minnesota. All right, 35 miles to go. I got 75 miles on the gasometer, so should have no problem reaching the next wind farm and the Electrify America station, which is about 5 miles past the wind farm. At this point, it's just driving safe with the snow. It's 2 below, but I'm still running the heat just because I'm not too worried about range and making it where I need to be. Made it through the minimum maintenance road. That stressed me out a bit because the piles in the middle of the road where the tires weren't treading, there was piles of snow that were scraping up against the bottom of the car, but not too big of an issue. I'm sure they designed the vehicle to handle stuff like that. Alright, made it to my third and final stop of the day. I'm going to get my portable cord out and plug into that little 120 outlet there. Basically just to keep the battery warm. I'll get a little bit of juice out of it, but I'll only be here for about an hour, so maybe a kilowatt hour. The snow, as you can see, is falling quite lightly, but it's piling up on the roadways, making things a little difficult. But so far, it's been good, and it's all interstate from here on home. So looking forward to making the final trek. All right, a couple hours later, and I've attained 1 bar on the battery. So I am headed over to the Electrify America station, which is about 5 miles away, to get us up to enough to get to the next Electrify America station, because I'll probably not be able to make it all the way home on one charge. Normally that little gray line is not usually there because the battery's so cold we can't do the full regen into the battery. So curious what kind of charging speeds I'll accomplish here at the Electrify America station. If it's anything like last night, it'll probably be about 20 kilowatts. So I'll probably be at that charger for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. We'll see. Just the way it is in these cold temperatures and in the Bolt EV. So see you at the charger. Had some issues with the other charger there, but pulled into this one and it's working. So 25 kilowatts, not too bad actually, better than I expected for it being 1 degree Fahrenheit. But the snow piles up here in front of these chargers, so whoever maintains this lot here need to do a little better job of clearing a spot. I luckily have a shovel in the back of my car, but if someone else pulls up here, they're going to be out of luck. I'm going to have to move or adjust in order for them to be able to reach the chargers because the snow is pretty deep. So due to the cold temperatures, I'm not able to pull the full 50 to 55 kilowatts from this 350 kilowatt charger. The temperature of the battery is causing the system to limit charging to about 20 to 25 kilowatts. Now, something to note, right now I'm running the heat, and it is actually nice and comfortable in here. You can see the outdoor temperature is 1 degree Fahrenheit, but I still have liquid building up on the windshield because it's hitting the windshield and melting. It's very comfortable. You might ask, well, why are you using all of this electricity that you could be using to charge? Well, because I'm not utilizing the full capacity of the charger, I'm actually getting additional electricity from the charger to run the heater. So whether I have the heater on or off, I'm still going to get 20 to 25 kilowatts into the battery. But since this is a higher capacity charger, you'll see in the bottom left, right now I'm actually pulling 28 kilowatts. If I were to shut my heat off right now, you'll see that number drop. So now it just dropped to 27, 26, 25, 24. And now that 24 matches what the car is saying. Again, cold temperatures are really the limiting factor in fast charging. Nothing says that you can't pull 28 kilowatts from the charger or 30 kilowatts or whatever your heater requires. You're still going to be limited to whatever the battery can handle. And I would actually make the argument that it's better to run your heater in a cold temperature like this, because that residual heat that the cabin is building up will also circulate into the coolant that's going through the battery. So it's possible that heating your cabin will actually have a net positive effect on the charging rate of the battery. Been here probably 45 minutes so far, and I've attained about 22% charge. I have 118 miles to go to the next Electrify America station. So I'll probably be here for another hour. I'm gonna open my laptop, check some emails, and we'll check in with you then. All right, I've reached 80% in total. Been here an hour and 50 minutes, but I've got 115 miles to go. It's still 1 degree Fahrenheit out. I'm gonna be cutting this one a little bit close, but it's a long enough ride that I'm gonna keep a close eye on the odometer here. As long as I keep that average above 2.3 miles per kilowatt hour, I should have no issue getting there. And you know, really that average is what the gasometer is doing in the background, and so far I've found that to be pretty accurate. So again, hitting it right about in the middle of where it thinks I'm going to be for range, but it's still daylight. Really need to get back before the weather gets any worse. So I'm going to hit the road and hope for the best. Alright, so I'm about 40 miles out of Albert Lea, and the gasometer says I'm at 40 miles on the low end. The roads are terrible. I don't care what car you're driving. You get stuck behind vehicles traveling 35 miles an hour like they are right now on the interstate. Semis pass and kick up a bunch of snow. So I am looking forward to getting to my next stop, charging up to the bare minimum of what I need, and then finishing the rest of the 20-mile journey. Planning on staying at my parents' house tonight. Not going to make it all the way back to Rochester just because of the weather. So just checking in, 40 miles to go, and here's hoping we make it through the next leg. Alright, I am plugged in over there. I'm going to open the Electrify America app in Android Auto. I'll choose nearby stations. That's the one I'm at now. I am at charger number 1. And we'll hit start charge. Alright, I just heard the car do something. I see initiate charging over there. Car says please plug in now, which I am plugged in. Alright, and I heard the beep. You can see the kilowatts are starting to flow in. That's how you initiate a charging session from Android Auto. I have to admit though, that was the second time that I attempted that. There was an issue with my phone. I had to reboot my phone. I guess pixel perks. Pretty cool feature. Almost Tesla-like, but not quite. Just a taste. Looks like there's a Rivian over there charging too. Pretty nice that this Electrify America station is improving. The app says that there are 3 available right now. PlugShare says 2. Yeah, so far so good. Very smooth and seamless experience. And it looks like they plow this station, which is nice. Well, there goes the Rivian. Looked like he unplugged at 79%. I was doing some quick math because I could see the screen over there on the station. He was charging at about 180 kilowatts to 140 kilowatts on average. They put in, it was almost 100 kilowatt hours they put into the battery. So that was a pretty decent 45-minute charging session for them. But still a testament to how fast the new electric vehicles can charge. I mean, that's pretty good for this cold of temperatures when my Bolt is only managing 20 kilowatts right now. So certainly a widespread. It's unfair to just say that all EVs are bad in the wintertime. You know, I wouldn't even call this one bad. You just need to change your approach a little bit. You can't just drive it like a regular vehicle and assume you're gonna, you know, be able to charge up and live life exactly the same if you're having to do a long road trip like I did. But as you can see with the Rivian, I mean, they were here for 45 minutes, so it's a decent stop. But there's a gas station here. There's Round Round restaurant just behind us here. So even in these cold temperatures, charging at 150, 180 kilowatts on average is pretty good, and that's enough kilowatt hours, I'm sure, to get them, you know, at least 100, 200 miles onto their destination. So kind of neat running into another electric vehicle driver in these crazy conditions. Only 20 minutes from my parents' house, so hoping the last leg will go smoothly. Wow, what a road trip that was. It is 8 degrees Fahrenheit here in Austin, a balmy 8 at that. That is the warmest temperature I've seen all trip. In total, this was a 480-mile trip, all temperatures below freezing. I used 200 kilowatt hours, and majority of that, of course, used for driving, but a good portion of that also is used for climate. I rolled in with 22 miles left on the battery. I had enough juice to do some Christmas shopping here when I got to town. Weather wasn't too bad, and it's going to get worse between now and Christmas. So, got that done. Gonna plug my car in here. My parents have a 120 volt outlet in the garage and an EVSE that my dad uses with his Fusion Energy. Just gonna change the charging limit here because I know it's a reliable outlet. We'll do that to 12. Plug in, charge up, and ride out the rest of the storm here. So, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next trip. Bye.